Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these figures down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hey everyone, apologies for going AWOL. Life got in the way between teaching, mom duties, studying, and just trying to keep myself together. Things got a little overwhelming, but I'm back, and thank you for being patient with me. Before anything else, we start our week with extramural swimming. Mondays come with sun, splashes, and lots of energy. This is one of my favorite parts of the week, seeing my learners confident in the water, having fun, and learning new skills. And yes, it's another hit away, the loudest cheerleader on the pool side. Next up, just a random day in the office with my colleagues. Honestly, I think teachers are just as crazy as their kids, maybe even worse.
Mina sengishutile sengiyashutha njalo.
And now it's a random Friday afternoon and the student hat is officially on. I'm looking scrappy, I know, but honestly, I don't even care at this point. Because I have an assignment I left for the very last minute and it's due like today, like right now. Teacher hat is off, mom hat is off, woman hat is off. Right now, it's just survival mode. Student minutely trying to pull miracles. And when I finally hit that submit button, whew, that's my whole personality for the day. I'm done for the day. The teacher hat is officially off. The student hat is slowly coming off too, and now it's time to take on the mommy hat, because even after a full day of work and studying, the kids still need me. Different hats, different responsibilities, but the love and the joy that never changes. Saturday, and I'm in full force student mode. Today in our course, we're having the privilege of hearing about the different struggles schools and teachers face daily, and it's impossible not to feel grateful for the place God has placed me in. From overcrowded classrooms and limited resources to administrative pressures and the emotional toll of teaching, these stories remind me of the long road still ahead in the education sector, and they fuel my passion to keep learning, growing, and serving who I am.
And ensuring that the kids are being given the food parcels for each learner every Friday, more especially on the child-headed families. And we also have high rates of parents who are not the orphans, but these kids are being nurtured by their grannies. So they are there. It means homework, learning is a problem in our schools, in the townships areas. So I believe that we still have to have a long way to go.
But thank you very much for sharing all that. That's a very challenging situation. And you said it's challenging, right? So you can hear now, but this instrument has helped me to understand. It's good to get out of that context. As much as these things are difficult, some of them, remember, in the textual analysis, you even look at things that are beyond your own control, right? But you, as the principal, deputy principal, manager, now you can sit down and start to think strategically. What do I do to mitigate? Because you know them now, right? What do I do to mitigate? Okay. I think there was a hand somewhere here. Yeah, before you go there. Was it a hand here? It was you. Oh, she covered you.
Yes, she covered me quite a lot, sir. Especially speaking about the high rate of unemployment, which is an economical issue. I just saw that the instrument actually interleads. If there's an economical issue, definitely there's a lot of social problems. So, as in my school, we have childcare loans, and we realize that rate is quite high in our environment. Our learners are sexually exposed, so we have such problems, and then there's a lot of substance addiction because of as well of lack of finance. So they are
some of these things are very scary. I can't imagine. Thank you very much for sharing. But one thing that says that is key is that some of these things can cut across the gospel, can cut across the riches, and she put it down that even though I'm looking at it from the economic point of view, but it has an impact on the social aspect of things. Okay?
Morning, everyone. We have discussed many aspects, but I wanted to look particularly at environmental. It's one of the biggest challenges we have as a school is paying our waste workers. They have become astronomical since COVID. So the previous HDC put in a borehole, but we only have an engineer on HDB now, and he discovered that the pump system that they use because after COVID they put in new health and electricity code restrictions. And even though we repaired and fixed up our tuck shop and made all the adjustments, we couldn't get the electricity code clearance because they wanted electricity compliance for the entire school, not just the tuck shop. And our school is over 60 years old. So we've had to spend hundreds of thousands on relayering and redoing wiring in section by section of the school.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that. But when did that comes out from your school? Which areas is this? Joburg South. What I like about it is the issue of legal compliance keeps coming. And I really hope that in your school now we have learned it a little bit of a hard that remember what we did at the beginning of this course, where we emphasize legal compliance, right? Because those things nobody will come and buy into. But the second thing that that school is doing, they did not sit back and say we have a problem of water. Okay? Even though they did it wrongly, but at least you thought about the problem. And one of the key things about once you find that water doesn't get. Okay? But I'm glad that you did something. So let's plan for next year, let's plan ahead. Now that we know our school building is more than 60 years old, obviously it's all under Africa, is it FRACA or what, that kind of. So you can't just change things around as you wish. You have to get approval because those buildings are protected. Even the bed, you can't even remove them. But it tells me that in your school, as much as you are proactive, you need to first of all dig deeper in terms of understanding all this context. What law are affecting you? What issues are there? Okay? But at least you have deep knowledge. So let's come to this block. We'll take 2 years in that block and then we end up there. I think that was a come to. Let's start there.
Thank you, Dr. Good morning, colleagues. I'm at Fantam Secondary, which is highly affected by all of those factors there, mostly environment. Environmental one, yes. We are a continuous school from 2011. We cannot fix the school anymore. The floors have holes because when it rains, the water goes straight to the classes. There are no windows anymore. Now we're thinking of using the flat sheets, but we are afraid because it will be too hot in the classes. The reason for the windows to fall every time is because now all the classes are loose. If you hold the sides, you might fall outside because they are old, the structure is too old. There is no electricity. Last year, head office came to assist with electricity and we requested them not to put electricity because before the end of the month, it will be gone. Indeed, as they were still installing, they were stealing from the other block. We are surrounded by the new squatter camps, as I'm saying, they are always mushrooming every morning, the new ones. And then we thought of partnering with the taxi association. They are now parking in our school. At least it's better, but as for the structure, there is nothing we can do. And then the political one, we are surrounded by many politicians who want to see themselves in the school. I don't know what is it to gain because there is nothing there. When there is the post that is advertised, you find them looking for their wives. They will come and tell the principal that my wife is a PL1 in a certain school, primary school. They want them to come to a high school. And the principal will keep on refusing with the SGB. One day he found a bullet in his office and a letter. And unfortunately, during that time, one of the principals in our neighboring schools was shot dead in the morning at school. Now my principal cannot arrive early at school because he's afraid for his life. I always come in the morning and leave late because I'm trying to motivate other teachers. I will also be told by other teachers to take care of myself because anything can happen. Okay, I decided I cannot stop because of the brainchild. Economically, parents are not working in our community. Most of them are in drugs, highly affected by HIV and AIDS, house-headed by children, and most of them are also sick. Most of them don't even know, and they still fall pregnant. that means the disease is continuing. And then technologically, oh my God. I think the district was trying to assist us. They came to remove all the whiteboards and they installed the projectors. Poor my teachers, some of them wrote with the whiteboard marker on them. And then when I asked how can you write, they said we thought it's the new one, we'll be able to use sanitizer to remove it. Because there is no electricity, how can they bring this here? And we tried to install the whiteboards at the back, and then it's like we are a graveyard. So there's a lot. Thank you.
You can never scream for me. Yo, is Nigeria here? She's there. She's here. She's gone. Okay. Yo, when some of these, the stories that I'm hearing, I don't know where to start or what to say. But the good thing again is that this tool has helped you now to pull them together.
Yeah, true.
To draw them out and sit with them. And my advice is as much as I say, which area is this?
It's next to energy.
And next to energy in the south. Okay? I know that area there. So if that is the case, you need, call on your colleagues and say, look, now that let's put this together. Because some of the things you know them by the head, you like thumbs up them, but now you have written them down, some of them, right? Go back and say, you know what? Why don't we sit together and look at all these things here? As much as some of them are beyond our control. But let's sit together, let's think strategically what we can do about it. Okay, man? And who knows? I mean, like that one that you give you the taxi people, to some extent it's relieved. But take that instrument, do it with your colleagues, and intentionally decide what you want to do. Because sometimes you know these things, but you're like, I can't do much. And you don't become intentional. But if you sit down with your colleagues, work on them, you become intentional and say, okay, now I'm taking this intention, I'm going to do what to do. Okay? I'm hoping that it will. Same thing the situation that we discussed there. Sit back and make it intentional. Written in black and white. Okay? To sit together as a team and say, let's sit down and now, for me, that first step is what you need when you go to your strategic planning. When you do your strategic planning around this time of the year, September, October, take that out and say, colleagues, can I take you through the personal analysis? Let me take you through what it means, let's do it together, and then let's plan strategically. Are you with me? Okay? So that will at least go some way to ameliorate some of these things that are very, very horrific. I mean, especially killing of people there. Giving the bullet in your office. It's almost like now living. Okay, let's give Dr. Mtengo a chance.
Yes, our SDP is active. If they are trying to support, but now there's nothing much that they can do. They even closed the school because they wanted the department to do something. They also went to look for people who can build either one block or a hall for us because we have 250 graduate learners. When it's exam times, we are using 11 classes. Therefore, the lower grades cannot attend their classes because we take them. Then they got a sponsor from Choreography to build us a hall that can seat 500 learners. But the Department of Education refused. They said there is no planning for that school, so they cannot build it there. Rather, they must go to build it in our neighboring school, which is a primary school. But if you want to use it, we can use it. It doesn't work for us.
Because then it's high time that we involve equal education law, because really, if nothing is happening, because safety is very important. If we can get a safety assessment of the school and use that, I thought GDE will jump and make sure that they do something. Because if we keep on talking to them, don't do anything. But there's equal education and they advocate society. So make sure that we don't just leave them. Because when it comes to safety, Department of Education must be held accountable. Even the National Department of Education, if there is issue of safety.
That's a very good contribution. Now we put it into the NGOs that can help. And one of them is equal education. Okay, good. These are lawyers. We can take up all those issues. Yes, ma'am.
Also, we have the right to a safe working environment. If that's in the Constitution, and if we don't feel safe in our working environment, we stand up for ourselves.
You must always vote those acts because it says no safety. As I can read Department of Labor,
So there we go. I mean, these kinds of things that you are hearing here honestly are beyond comprehension. And therefore, one of the things, I mean, at these NGOs, associations, you can just Google them very quickly. And then call one of those people, they'll come here and come and assist you. Okay? All right, I'll come to you, madam. I think there was somebody.
Good morning, colleagues. My school is located in a mining pool, and the mines have closed. So our school is a breeding ground for zamazamas. So under the social, we are scared for our kids because they just roam around. They're carrying guns underneath their blankets. They shoot one another. And again, because our school was a mine, is under the mines. Now there's no one who wants to take over the school. We don't know now because the mines have closed. Are we under the municipality? We are just lost. It's just bad.
Yeah, there are mines there. And I know the issue of Zamazamas and all the things that are doing. Then again, that might be from a legal point of view, because we need to locate your school somewhere first. Zoning, in terms of the zoning. Okay, it must be zoned properly, and then you know, and then probably qualification can be of help. Okay. Right, this row will go to you there, man. But anyway, what we have done in terms of that, I hope that has helped you, right? And then we can share with the colleagues as well.
Morning, colleagues. So I'm just going to touch on two aspects. The first one, the social. So the area where I am is Lolly, and there is an increase in drug and alcohol abuse, where the culture of vaping and happily smoking, where you find community members sitting around the corners in groups smoking, and now it's influencing the kids because we're in primary school, but we are already finding children bringing vapes to school. There is also the mushrooming of townships, of informal settlements around the school, around the area, and we find that comes with its own problems, where now many of the learners that are coming into our schools are from child-headed households. There's neglect, there's issues of extreme poverty and abuse as well. There's a lot of those cases of sexual abuse, physical abuse on the children. There's also discrimination amongst the members because the members from the original community where the school is and the new people that are coming from the informal settlements, and we find that there is that tension between those two communities. And then also I wanted to touch on the legal. I find that there's a lack of understanding and also a lack of mediation of acts like the Bella Act and changes in the education stream, and also with the current issue that is bubbling under in the country with illegal immigrants being now having to come into the schools, and with the issue of documentation. I feel that all our schools, especially the township schools, are going to be affected by that.
Just like where is it exactly?
It's just after this year.
Johannesburg South also. I think I know the area. Okay, again, I've said that there's the tool there, you have tried it. Just go back again, sit with your colleagues, get an opportunity, work around it, and plan ahead. All right? And I know how difficult it is, especially to work with Eli. I know Lorena. I know it's just around that village here. And I know there are a lot of shacks, mushrooming all over the place. And there's the company of bricks there, Coral Brick, yeah. Now I know where it is. Okay. So work out all those things there and find out how you mitigate some of those issues. Let's take the last one.
Thank you, Doctor. So I am from Emerald. It's between Franklin and Lowry. I just wanted to add something from previous on in the lecture this morning, where we were speaking about stakeholders. Specifically with the taxi drivers, like I was saying, or she was saying earlier, that the taxi drivers are helping in a school, they're doing something positive with regard to protection and so forth. However, in Emerald, we've experienced 2 incidents where is taxi violence in front of the school. So the one was in front of Renuman, where a taxi driver was shot dead in front of the school when the school just came out. So learners were traumatized. Another incident previous to that happened in front of my house. So I live next to one of the schools, the primary schools, and it's ironically in the exact same road. So it happened, but luckily that was during the school holidays, where another taxi driver was also shot. And then we found out that these are taxi drivers that are having taxi violence from Lowry. So now it's crossing communities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing those traumatic instances. I really hope the kids did go for counseling, okay?
Okay, I'm just going to what you just said, because I'm worried about the primary school now being involved in issues of drugs. But the question is, maybe what we need to think about as well in the schools is to work closely with social development, with health, with police. Do you have structures wherein you involve these government sectors? Because I cannot understand the social development can be quiet if the minors are exposed to drugs. If they are childcare homes, they should be offering psychosocial support. But if you don't involve them, they'll just sit and do nothing. But if you call them and bring them on board, they are responsible to ensure that they assist this group. You cannot do it on your own. For you to provide education, there are other government sectors they should be coming in and assisting this group. It's not like they're doing their favor. They are obliged to make sure that they do support the schools.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jim, because that's why now I've emphasized the need to look outward. What it is that you can solicit to come and help you in all these files, okay? Go on those, and some of these things are well documented on the website. These social structures, these departments, and all those things. As a leader, engage them. Go there and say, I've got this particular problem. Can you help me? Okay, I wanted to edit myself. I said, former principal, you want to say something? All the issues that we are discussing.
No, well, good morning, students. Look, the principalship is a very challenging position, and it exposes all sorts of problems. I think this course is trying to capacitate you as managers, as a school management team, so that you can be strengthened as far as these challenges are concerned. Of course, if you can change schools, all schools that are visited, then definitely there are problems, and you cannot avoid those problems. Instead, what you can do is start to learn how to navigate in the midst of such problems. And one of them is to get more information, get more educated, more exposure. And these cases that we're sharing here, we learn from them. The comments that some of you are commenting about, we learn from them. Dr. Tem, we've just given an example. Issues of the impact and the functioning and of NGOs. It's also crucial. So I'm saying, Doc, we learn as you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mansela. He's a former principal. So what he said, which is quite important, is that in this particular kind of a course, you're very fortunate because you are now having all these ideas and all these suggestions that now you must take away to your school and say, well, you know what? Allow the student to look at.
The past 2 days I've been looking like a hot mess, so today let's go do my hair, and of course we are adding some steps because we are walking. Time to put the lady in me hat on. Hot mess no more. Hair done, yes. Energy restored, yes. I normally get to school as early as 6:30, and trust me, it's not by choice, but honestly, it's a great way to start my day. Quiet hallways, early prep, and a moment to set the tone before the chaos begins. And since I did not show you my beautiful face the previous day, this is me looking all cute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Miss M.
Oh,
Mrs. T.
what's more? Yes.
Next up, it's spelling time. The moment where little brains stretch, focus, and show off what they've learned. I love seeing their confidence grow one word at a time. Some days it's tricky, some days it's pure joy. In our class, some learners have pen licenses, which means they get to write with pens. And some are still rocking those pencils because we haven't earned our pen licenses yet. It's small rewards, but it teaches responsibility, progress, and a little bit of healthy classroom competition. And yes, the excitement when someone finally earns their pen license, priceless. Straight after school, I had a presentation, not just for my team, not just for a phase, but for the entire school. Shoo! During this presentation, I honestly felt like one of my students doing a class speech. That's probably why my hand ended up on my hip. My body was just trying to feel a little more confident and grounded, but definitely zero meme vibes. But hey, we are all learning, right?
There's no way I'll know I'll be able to run with things in the intermediate phase, but can you just like get a heads up to say this is happening so that we know, also we just have an idea of what's happening as a committee. And then we've got a few activities we'd like to implement next year. Hopefully we'll be able to get the whole school to participate. So
thank you for spending a few random days in my life. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, please do subscribe for more content. We are just getting started and trying to grow together.
High volume. Am I really that much?